What's up, friends? Welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for joining me here again for another Harry Potter. Today we're watching Chamber of Secrets. Last week we obviously watched the first one, Sorcerer's Stone. Excited to rewatch this one again. I have seen all the Harry Potters. For those of you who are new, just rewatching them through for the first time in quite a while. For 5 through 8 I haven't seen in like 10 years or so. So it's enjoyable to get reacquainted with all the characters and just find out again why I love the series so much. And if you're new, welcome to the channel. I do movie and TV show reactions and commentaries several days a week, so definitely consider subscribing, turning on that notification bell so you know when I upload my next videos. And for the full-length reaction to this and other movies or TV shows that I do, definitely check out my Patreon link in the description. That's where you can find that, as well as polls to help me decide what I watch or react to next. And for those of you who may have missed the announcement on my community tab, once I reach 200 patrons on my Patreon account, I'm going to be adding to my schedule short-form comedy series, so 20 to 30-minute episodes. And so once I hit those, I'm going to be putting up a big poll for that on my Patreon, probably around 10 or so shows. So definitely recommend any comedy shows that you would like to see. And those won't be replacing anything else. They will just be in addition to the 2 TV episodes that happen on Tuesdays and Thursdays. That's when those will go up as well. So I'm definitely excited to do that. And for those of you who suggest movies, I still, of course, appreciate all those suggestions. My watch list is like over 300 or so, or close to it, movies right now. So I see all your recommendations. Don't worry if you don't see them right away, either on the channel or in polls on Patreon. I'm working through them slowly, so bear with me. But I'm excited to watch so many of the things that you're recommending. Glad that you guys are enjoying the videos. Definitely, if you enjoy this video, consider leaving a like. Definitely helps the channel grow and helps the video reach more people. But I am excited to get into this one, so let's start watching Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets. Oh yes, love Dobby.
Why don't you sit down?
But never has he been asked to sit down by a wizard.
You can't have met many decent wizards then.
I haven't.
Only serving one of the worst wizards around.
Harry Potter must not go back to Hogwarts School of Witchcraft and Wizardry this year. A plot to make most terrible things happen.
Such a creepy line to start off the movie.
Hiya, Harry.
Ron.
Now come on, get your trunk.
I feel like Ron's voice got way deeper between the first and the second one. Such a freaking nasty fall. Landed in the bushes, but I feel like he still should have hurt his back way bad. I feel like the Harry Potter movies are great at starting with super hype moments.
Okay, come on.
Can't remember if Harry does this later on, but I don't know why after his first year he doesn't just move or try to move in with somebody else and keeps living with the Dursleys. Obviously it's not easy to take in another kid, but anybody would have been better than that.
Diagon Alley.
Harry be like, I'm gonna just pretend I didn't hear that.
Diagonally.
Like, what was that, Harry?
What did you do to your glasses? Oculus Reparo.
Thank goodness for Hermione. Has anyone in real life named their child Hermione? I feel like I haven't ever met someone named that, and usually people are all about naming their kids after pop culture stuff.
Famous Harry Potter. Can't even go to a bookshop without making the front page.
Leave him alone.
You got yourself a girlfriend.
Now, Draco, play nicely.
One of my favorite castings from this series.
Lucius Malfoy, your scar is legend, as of course is the wizard who gave it to you.
No big secret which side he's on.
Tatty, second-hand book. You must be at the Weasleys.
There's the new book. I only remember that part because this is one that I have watched more recently than the others, so I knew to pay attention to that moment. Jason Isaacs is one of my favorite underrated actors. He's so good in everything that he does. He's not really ever a main star of a series or anything like that, but whenever he's a supporting character, he just nails it. One of my favorite recent shows with him as a prominent character is The OA. It's one of the best shows I've ever watched, but unfortunately Netflix canceled it early.
Gilderoy Lockhart, Order of Merlin. Third class, 5 times winner of which weekly's most charming smile award. But I don't talk about that. I didn't get rid of the band and banshee by smiling at them.
This guy cracks me up. I know he's out of here by this one, but I don't remember if he comes back in the later ones. I hope so, because he's such an entertaining character.
I, Professor Severus Snape, do hereby give the Slytherin team permission to practice today, owing to the need to train their new Seeker. You've got a new Seeker.
Only this snake.
And that's not all that's new this year.
Those are Nimbus 2001s.
A wizard odyssey. So it begins.
What?
Sorry?
That voice.
Voice?
Didn't you hear it?
I think we're getting a bit, drowsy. And great Scott, no wonder, look at the time.
Oh, Doc Brown reincarnated.
Harry!
Did you hear it?
So creepy.
The Chamber of Secrets has been opened. Enemies of the air, beware.
It's Filch's cat.
Everyone will proceed to their dormitories immediately.
Perhaps Potter and his friends were simply in the wrong place at the wrong time.
My cat has been petrified. I want to see some punishment!
As I understand it, Madam Sprout is a very healthy growth of mandrakes. When matured, a portion will be made which will revive Mrs. Norris.
All the teachers in this are so unique. It's great. For the amount of characters in this series, they do such a fantastic job at not making anybody feel too similar to one another. There's a lot of series that do not handle that well.
But Malfoy, the heir of Slytherin.
Crabbe and Goyle must know. Maybe we could trick them into telling.
Even they aren't that thick. But there might be another way. Not to mention we'll be breaking about 50 school rules. And it'll be dangerous. Very dangerous.
Count me in. I love how much of a stickler Hermione is for rules and stuff most of the time, but she's willing to get her hands dirty if it means getting the job done. Oh, Filch is always finding him.
I'll have you out this time, Potter. Mark my words.
Filch gets such a bigger role in this movie. Don't like those things one bit. It's things like that, though, that make later reveals in the movie so much better, is because they've been building up the entire movie. If they hadn't have had several shots of the smaller spiders crawling around during the movie, then we wouldn't have anticipated the scene later in the forest. Just some subtle, really good filmmaking choices. I'm sure it's just taking material from the books anyway, but nonetheless, good choices.
But I must ask you, is there something you wish to tell me?
No, sir.
Man, you could have avoided so much just by being honest right there. Dumbledore knows he's hiding something too.
Off you go.
It's a brilliant character moment for both Harry and Dumbledore, though, because it shows that Dumbledore, even though he knows Harry's hiding something, he's willing to let Harry deal with that himself, and he's not just going to force it out of him. He's going to let Harry tell him in his own time and let him learn. Such a cool transformation. So well done.
But then you must have some idea who's behind it all.
You know I don't, Goyle. I told you yesterday. The last time the Chamber of Secrets was opened, a mudblood died.
Gotta protect Hermione.
She was found near the library, along with this.
Man, that's the last thing the school needs. Hermione's like one of the best wizards in the game. Especially rough for Harry and Ron, because without Hermione, they can't do a whole lot. Or they haven't done a whole lot.
Professor Dumbledore, sir. Good evening, Hagrid.
That's Boss. Cornelius Fudge.
Oh, it's our introduction to Cornelius Fudge.
Very bad business.
Quite a major character from memory.
What are you doing here? Get out of my house!
I take absolutely no pleasure being inside your... You call this a house?
I want to hate him, but I have a hard time because I just love Jason Isaacs acting as him. And I mean, even though he is a bad guy, he is a compelling character.
If the governors desire my removal, I will, of course, step aside.
I did not remember how dire the circumstances of this movie were.
You will find that help will always be given at Hogwarts to those who ask for it.
Freaking love that shot. That's so brilliant. Dumbledore truly just can see and knows everything that's going on.
Who is it?
His voice is pretty cool though. Ugh, so horrifying. But such a well done reveal.
They think it's Hagrid. They think he opened the Chamber of Secrets, like before.
That's a lie. Hagrid never opened the Chamber of Secrets.
It's terrifying design, but it's also extremely well done.
Wish you were here, Hermione. We need you, now more than ever.
It sucks that Hermione's petrified, but it's a great narrative choice for this movie, and especially with the characters of Ron and Harry, because at the end of the first movie, Hermione's just saving their bacon constantly. Taking Hermione out of the question for the end of this movie gives these two characters the necessary opportunity for growth.
This is it. I think this is the entrance to the Chamber of Secrets.
Such a cool moment with the music on top of it as well.
This way.
Such cool set design.
It's a snake's skin.
Another genius choice in filmmaking by showing the snake skin before we see the basilisk.
Listen, we've got to go. We've got to save her.
I'm afraid I can't do that, Harry. You see, as poor Ginny grows weaker, I grow stronger. It was Ginny Weasley who opened the Chamber of Secrets.
Such a crazy reveal. The most unexpected person. That thing is so huge. Fawkes is the real hero of this movie. This movie is fairly old at this point, and the basilisk still looks freaking amazing. That shot is horrifying. That moment is so stress-inducing, especially when you're a kid watching this, which is what I was. First time I watched it, at least. Harry is not very good with a sword. Except right there.
No!
Love this moment. If Harry is good at one thing, it's disintegrating Voldemort in the early movies. And if I remember right, the book is one of the Horcruxes of Voldemort, right? It's the very first one that we see.
I want to thank you, Harry. You must have shown me real loyalty down in the chamber. Nothing but that could have called Fawkes to you. It is not our abilities that show what we truly are. It is our choices.
Oh, Dumbledore, what a fantastic line.
I have something of yours. I think you slipped the diary into Ginny Weasley's cauldron that day at Diagon Alley.
Why don't you?
He's such a good actor. Love that he gets a bigger role in the future movies.
Harry! It's Hermione!
These movies know how to make you feel happy at the end.
Sorry I'm late.
My main man.
I'd just like to say that if it hadn't been for you, Harry, and Ron, Hermione, of course, I'd still be you know where. So I'd just like to say thanks.
There's no Hogwarts without you, Hagrid.
Man, that line always gets me. Man, Hagrid deserves all the applause. He's the best. These movies always try to make you emotional at the end. They send you out on the ultimate high note. I love these movies so much. They're just such great experiences. I feel like they rise above just being films that you watch. They just do such a great job of transporting you to another world and just giving you something enjoyable, something so much fun to experience for a few hours or longer, depending on how many you watch in one sitting, which if I wasn't doing these commentaries for the channel, I'd probably just binge a bunch of them in one sitting. They're just so easy to watch, so enjoyable. I love the uniqueness of the world, of the characters, of everything about these movies. They're just so unlike anything else that we've ever gotten. Harry Potter's just basically its own genre at this point. You can't really put it into any other category because it just gives you such a different experience than you can find anywhere else. And while they may not be as life-changing or as thought-provoking or philosophical as people might think other movies are, I still think they're just one of the most enjoyable series ever made. And I feel like there's plenty of great messages and thought-provoking things discussed in the movies, whether it's lines from Dumbledore, like in the last conversation with Harry when he's talking about our heritage or whatever. I don't remember the line exactly, but he's saying our choices are what make us, what define us. I think that's such a great line, such a great message. It's sad that this is the last movie that we get to see that Dumbledore in because sadly he passed, but in a way I feel like it's better that something like that, as tragic as it is, were to happen earlier on so that we could get introduced and changed over into a new Dumbledore, because if that happened in like the 6th movie, there just would have been no way that you can recover from that with a new actor, in my opinion. And so it's super tragic that he wasn't able to finish out his career with the Harry Potter series, being able to go through all of that. But I love his contribution to the first 2 movies. Definitely sold that character for people just getting introduced to the franchise perhaps, or just getting introduced to the movies transitioning from the books. And I know I thought before that I didn't enjoy this movie as much as the others, and having watched this just a week after the first one, I'm not 100% sure how I felt that, because I loved it. I thought it was so much fun as the first one, because we've been introduced to so many things after the first one, and it doesn't it doesn't spend as much time kind of setting things up again, because we've already been introduced to so much. It still does a decent amount of world building and character building and things like that, but now we've learned about these characters and these locations, and so we're more attached to them, we're more emotionally invested, and so I think that helps a lot with the things that happen in this one. John Williams' score nails it again. The music is definitely its own character in this series. It adds so much to every scene that the soundtrack swells, and this is really just one of John Williams' best. He's done so many great things, but the Harry Potter soundtrack definitely stands out for me. So memorable. And I think this is the last movie that Chris Columbus directed of the first 2, and I'm not too sure about all the behind the scenes dealings and information, but I'm curious why they didn't have him back for the others, whether it was a studio choice or whether it was Chris Columbus's choice. Obviously, there's still some great directors. Obviously, the third one is directed by Alfonso Cuarón, if that's how you pronounce his name, which is awesome. He's a fantastic director. Having just recently watched Children of Men, just incredible director. So that's a great sign for the series getting such a prominent director. But I'm still interested why, or what the decision making was behind the process, because obviously even Cuarón is only on for the 3rd movie, I believe, so it's interesting why they changed directors so much. But as someone who is such a big fan of Hagrid, and obviously, if I remember right, I included in the first edit that he's one of my favorite characters, probably in my top 3, and to see the end scene with him returning and all the great moments with that definitely makes me feel emotional and so happy. This movie does such a great job at just making you excited and giving you those pumped up or powerful moments throughout the movie, whether it's at the very beginning all the way to the very end even. It's just filled with so many iconic moments in film. So I'm really loving getting to watch through all these again. Excited to move on to the 3rd one next week. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you did enjoy watching along, definitely consider leaving a thumbs up. Helps the video out a lot and definitely helps it to reach more people. So I appreciate all of you who do that. And if you'd like to watch along with me for the full movie, for this and all the future Harry Potters that I'm going to be doing, definitely check out my Patreon link in the description. That's where you'll be able to find that, as well as vote in polls for what I watch or react to in the future, so definitely consider checking that out. And if you're new, thank you so much for checking out the channel and the video. Hope you stick around, maybe consider subscribing, turning on that notification bell so you know when I upload future videos. But happy to have all of you here, especially those of you who have been subscribed and supported me for a while. It means a lot. But I'm excited to see you all in the next video, and until then, I will see you all later. Peace.